This is one of my favorite inspiring gift ideas. Um, I had a gentleman give me a $10,000 gift bonus after our year-long of coaching. And he said this idea was worth the tip in itself. So what I shared with him was when I was in my early 20s, it was, I believe, the first year that my parents, first or second years, it was the second year after their divorce, and it was Christmas time. And I wanted to get my father a special gift. I had decided I was going to spend Christmas with him, and it was just going to be me and him. My brother was going with my mom up to the family Christmas, and what I was inspired to do was to write him a letter, and I wrote him a thank you letter, thanking him for all of the places he had taken us. And I thanked him for being that crazy, funny tour guide in the front, explaining things and what things were in his own redneck sense of humor way. And if you knew my father, you'd know exactly what I mean. A sense of humor definitely was the one common denominator all of us had. That, laughter really seriously brought us together more than anything else. So I thanked my father for being the funny guy, for, getting us to be looking out the windows for the wild pomegranates. I was actually kind of disappointed when I found out that a wild pomegranate was a fruit, not a wild animal. And my dad he just laughed, because we'd be in the car and we'd be, wrestling over the best spot to sit in the back seat. That was before seatbelts were kind of the mandatory thing. But, always the shoveling and pushing and arguing and whatever that siblings do. And then we'd finally quiet down. And as soon as we'd kind of quiet down and settle down, and we might even actually be drifting off to have a nap. And my mom in the front is going, finally. My dad would yell, "Look, everybody! Look at the wild pomegranates!" And we jump up and go, where? Looking for the wild pomegranates. So it was just a silly, fun thing that he did with us. And if you were on this side of him, he'd close his eye and pretend he was driving with his eyes closed. I mean, he only closed this eye that you were looking at. He was driving. This one was open, but we didn't see that. We're like, Dad, He made traveling fun, so it didn't matter if we were going camping for a week or two in a tent, or driving down the coastline of the States to Disneyland, or up the road to the nearest campground. He always made it fun with his sense of humor. And I wrote him a extensive letter thanking him for being that unique travel tour guide through life. Whether it was, in the garage where he was teaching me about what an intake manifold was and how to change a spark plug, or out on the road, or in the forest explaining the difference between a spruce tree and a pine tree. I thanked him for all of the personal things that he taught me. from his own personal life experiences and how much I treasured them and how much I valued the time he took and the knowledge that he shared and the experiences and the laughter. And that meant more to me than anything that he'd ever wrapped up and put under a tree. My dad kept that letter in his wooden treasure box in his room until the day he died. It was one of his greatest treasures. Now, I shared that with quite a few clients over the years. And one gentleman, he wrote a letter just like that to his father. And, I remember seeing him years later, and we met up and we decided to go have lunch and catch up. And he says, my dad has that letter that I wrote him framed and in his office to this day. And you cannot believe how much healing happened between us and our entire family in relationships, like everybody, the positive ripple effect that intuitive information and idea that you shared with me at that time did for our entire family. And that's why I gave you that huge thank you gift that I did. So like I say, the power of the words we use are so powerful. The ones we withhold and the ones we misspeak. So if you're stuck for a beautiful gift idea for someone really special in your life, open your heart. Get out your magic wand, your pen, and when we speak through our hearts, and write it down with gratitude, we can never go wrong. I guarantee you. The ripple effect in your world and that person's world will be grand. So that's my $10,000 bonus heartfelt gift sharing idea. I know many of you will benefit from this one. Smiles to you. Happy holidays.